Hello everyone, and welcome back to English Story with Danny. This is where we explore fascinating historical figures and events and improve our English at the same time. Today, we're looking at one of history's most controversial figures, Adolf Hitler. His name brings strong emotions, anger, sadness, and questions about how one person could cause so much suffering. It's a difficult story, but understanding history, even the darkest parts, is important. We'll look at his life, the key moments that shaped him, and the devastating impact he had on the world. This story is complex, filled with failed dreams, ambition, and the terrible misuse of power. Ready to learn some history and English vocabulary? Let's begin. Part 1: Early Life and Failed Dreams. Our story starts not in Germany, but in Austria. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in a small town called Braunau am Inn. His father, Alois, was a strict man, a government worker. His mother, Clara, was quieter and Adolf was closer to her. As a child, Adolf wasn't a remarkable student. He enjoyed playing outside and drawing. He dreamed of becoming an artist. This dream caused conflict with his father, who wanted him to follow a more traditional path, maybe get a secure government job like him. Alois didn't think art was a real job. His father died when Adolf was 13, and later, his mother also passed away while he was still young. After finishing school, Adolf moved to Vienna, the capital of Austria, hoping to attend the famous Academy of Fine Arts. He was excited, thinking this was his chance. But his dream didn't come true. The art school rejected him, twice. He was devastated and humiliated. Without school or a steady job, life in Vienna became very hard. He lived in poor conditions, sometimes even sleeping on the streets, and sold postcards he painted to earn a little money. He felt life was unfair and started to feel resentment. Part 2: The Path to War and Politics. In 1914, everything changed. World War I started. Hitler joined the German army, even though he was Austrian, and fought bravely, earning medals for his courage. He felt he finally belonged to something important. However, Germany lost the war in 1918. Hitler was in hospital at the time, recovering from an injury. He was furious about the defeat and felt Germany's leaders had betrayed the country. The country was in chaos, people were poor and hungry, and many were angry about the terms of the peace treaty. Hitler returned to a Germany in turmoil. He saw this as an opportunity. He joined a small political group called the German Workers' Party in Munich. He quickly became known for his powerful, angry speeches. He was a charismatic speaker, full of passion and promises. He blamed Germany's problems on others, including politicians and certain groups of people. People listened. Slowly, more and more people started following him. He became the leader of the group, changing its name to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. He even designed its infamous symbol, a red flag with a black swastika. In 1923, Hitler and his party tried to take control of the government in Bavaria by force. This event is known as the Beer Hall Putsch. But it failed. Hitler was arrested and sent to jail for 9 months. While in jail, he wrote his book, Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. In this book, he wrote about his dangerous ideas, his hatred for certain groups, his belief that Germany needed to be powerful again, and his plans for the future. The book became surprisingly popular after his release. Part 3: Rise to Power. After getting out of jail, Hitler worked even harder to build the Nazi Party. Germany was suffering greatly from economic problems in the late 1920s and early 1930s, the Great Depression. Many people had no jobs and felt hopeless. Hitler used this situation. His powerful speeches gave people hope, but also someone to blame. He promised to make Germany strong again, to provide jobs, and restore national pride. His popularity grew rapidly. By 1933, the Nazi Party had become very popular. Adolf Hitler was chosen as the Chancellor of Germany, the country's top leader. This was the start of a dark new chapter. At first, some things seemed to improve. Hitler's government built roads and factories, and more people got jobs. Germany started to look strong again, and many people trusted him. They saw him as a hero. But behind this success, Hitler had dangerous plans. He quickly began to consolidate his power, removing opposition and creating a totalitarian state. Freedom of speech and the press disappeared. Newspapers, radio, and schools were controlled by the Nazis. People were told they could only believe in Adolf Hitler. Those who disagreed with him were punished or sent to concentration camps. He created a strong, loyal army called the SS and groups for young people, like the Hitler Youth, who were trained to fight and spread Nazi ideas. His dangerous ideology was spreading. Part 4: World War II and Downfall. In 1939, Adolf Hitler made his boldest move yet. He ordered his army to invade Poland. This act started World War II. Hitler's dream was to take over all of Europe and make Germany the most powerful country in the world. At first, the German army, using new tactics called Blitzkrieg or Lightning War, won many battles. They seemed unstoppable. But the war continued, and Hitler made more enemies. While the war was happening, Hitler and the Nazis were doing something truly terrible. This was the Holocaust, one of the darkest chapters in human history. They systematically persecuted and murdered millions of innocent people, primarily Jewish people, but also other groups they considered undesirable. Millions were killed in concentration camps and death camps. It was an atrocity beyond imagination. By 1944, the war started to go wrong for Germany. Enemies like the United States, the Soviet Union, and Britain were too strong. German cities were bombed day and night. The German army was losing battles everywhere. The people who once called Hitler a hero began to lose hope and turn against him. As defeat seemed inevitable, Adolf became paranoid. He trusted almost no one and spent most of his final days hiding in a bunker deep underground in Berlin. The Soviet army was getting closer every day. Leaders from other countries asked him to surrender, but he refused. He believed surrender was a sign of weakness. On April 29, 1945, he married his longtime girlfriend, Eva Braun, in the bunker. The next day, April 30, 1945, knowing the end was near and refusing to be captured alive, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun took their own lives. Hitler was 56 years old. Shortly after, the war in Europe ended. Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945. Hitler's dream of a powerful Germany had instead brought destruction and sorrow. Millions of lives were lost because of his actions. Part 5: Legacy and Lessons. After Adolf Hitler's death and the end of the war, the world worked to rebuild. Germany eventually became a peaceful, democratic country. People remember the horrors of the Holocaust and World War II to try and ensure such terrible events never happen again. Today, Adolf Hitler's name is a powerful reminder of the dangers of hatred, unchecked ambition, and the misuse of power. His story teaches us difficult but important lessons. It shows how the choices of individuals, especially leaders, can have huge consequences. It reminds us that every action matters and that we must choose wisely, always thinking about how our decisions impact others. Finally, Hitler's story highlights the importance of compassion, understanding, and unity. Hate and division only tear people apart. The world is a much better place when we come together, respect each other, and work towards peace. Life is too short for anger and judgment. By being kind and understanding, we can create a future filled with hope, not regret. Choose love over hate, humility over pride, and unity over division. What did you think? What lessons do you take away from this story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful for your English learning and understanding history, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to English Story with Danny for more exciting stories. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next story.